Okay, so the first thing, I guess we'll start from the very top. For those that don't know, if you have a website and you want to go and make edits, even though it's kind of basic, can everyone see the screen all right? You're going to click this key down in the bottom left-hand corner, and you're going to enter in your username and your password. I've already done that on this one. If you don't have a username and password, or you've forgotten it, or something, go ahead and message us. We'll be glad to help. Once you're in, you're going to then encounter this screen, which is kind of your main screen. You've got these tabs up here, which tell you which part of the editing process you're in. Edit content is for just general editing of pages. Edit special is for pages that have a feature. Maybe there's a form, there's some sort of interactive feature, maybe there's a slideshow. Those kind of advanced pages is where you use edit special. And edit menu is how you edit the navigation menu. So over here, we've got this tab about us. Underneath, we've got these different pages, our doctors, team, hospital tour. If they decided to add another page there, you can do that via edit menu. Over on the right, we have admin home, which is taking you to kind of behind the scenes information. If you needed to add email, in this case, they have accounts set up. I have a test account here, different accounts here. You can go ahead and do that. And at any point, you can always go back to the main website by clicking in the top left-hand corner. Okay, so we'll start with edit content. And this is where we can go ahead and make these sorts of, again, these general changes. So if you wanted to work on a page, what's one day? Let's look at it. All right, so here's a pet boarding page. So if I go to this page, I navigate to it first, and I click edit content. I should mention this, that it will work a lot better in Chrome. If you're using Internet Explorer, there's some idiosyncrasies that will stop it from working the best it can be. We strongly recommend you use Chrome for both the Mac operating system and for the PCs. Okay, so within this window, it's pretty straightforward. This is again, if you have the different indentations here. So if you've got some text and you want it to, align to the left, you click here. You want it to go to the right, you can do that. Justify is just over there, and to the center is where it goes that way. You also have the ability to add images. If you wanted to upload an image or replace an image, you can simply double click it or click this here. It's going to bring up another window. And if you're taking notes and you want to just, I mean, you can certainly take notes, but I'm recording this, so this will be on YouTube in case you need to review it. So if I wanted to renew this image, here's this image of I think it's a German Shepherd. I think that's one that she asked for. But let's just replace it for now, just for the time being. I click this, and you wanted to use a stock image, you can. We do have some stock images here. I'll put these guys in. And when you put that in, all you have to do is make sure the resolution is not, some really gigantic number, and you hit OK, and there's the picture. And you save your work, and we're good to go. Now, let me go back in here just to show you what happens if for example, see if I can upload something. And here, okay, so here's how you can upload pictures. That's the pictures that are in there already on the site. But if you wanted to upload an image from your computer, you would go up here to where it says upload. And if I had another, if I had some space on this window to show you, I could just click here, drag stuff over. I'm going to click Add Files. Let's see, what can I find that's appropriate? Go to the desktop. All right, here's a picture of me and Dale Earnhardt Jr. We're going to go ahead and put this up here. All right, so this is good. This is a great example because this is a pretty big picture. All right, so here's me and Junior at the race, hanging out like old buds, and this is way too big, right? And so if you want to go ahead and resize it, all you have to do is change the value in one of these fields. It doesn't matter which one it is. Just click in any one of these fields and then type in a smaller number. So if I type in 200 here, you notice that it'll go ahead and pop it in there. It's a little small. That's fine. You know, and say likewise if you wanted to change it from over here, type in 300 and then just click there. There goes the image. So you know that works out all right. This image description here, this is something that will help your search engine optimization. If you want to know more about search engine optimization, I invite you to come to the chat, not next week, but the week after next, where we'll talk about that. You'll sign up for that the same way we did for signing up for this orientation. But basically, what we're going to put in here is just a short little snippet about what this is about. If this was, you know, really accurate, instead of saying this, it would say something else. Let me go ahead and save this. It would say, right? Because then that tells people what the image is about, and if somebody is searching for it, it'll help them out. Something like that would help out as well. But we're not, you know, we're not going to put any of those things in because that's not what this picture is about. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back to the original image. And there's a dog. I'm going to save my work. And here we are back. So that little snippet that I showed, I'll put it in the chat here just in case you were wondering about that. Called an image description. I know this is mostly a chat about you know, doing edits for the site, but you may as well do this stuff while you're in there, because as you're building your site, there's always little things you can do to improve the search. That is one of them. Notice that when I hover over that image, it's got the little text that appears there for pet boarding. Okay, so we now know how to put the image in. Maybe you want to put in more than one image. Let's go down to the hospital tour. They don't have it. Oh, yeah, they do. Here it is. All right, so this is a really small slideshow. There's only a couple of pictures here. This is the staff of the hospital, and there's not much text here, but we certainly can add to it. So I'm going to. So first of all, this particular page, this page type, if you wanted to set up a slideshow on a page, you go to Edit menu, and then you select this option from the page type drop down. You'll see there's all these different types of pages here: basic web page, forums, etc. And again, the page that we want here is the slideshow page type. I'm not going to mess with it because we've got the 4 images in there. But after you do that, you hit Save Menu Information, and then you can start working on the slide. To add the slides to this this deal here, remember earlier I touched on Edit Special. That's what we're going to use. Here are your different pages. So and so if I needed to add an image, we go here. Add edit slide, add a new slide. I choose a file. we'll use this one. And I'm going to give it a title here. We'll just say it's test. And I hit save. Oh, it's too large. These things have to be less than 3 megs. We'll use this picture again. We'll see. Oh, that worked. Okay. And if you notice, these are ordered in increments of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So in that slideshow, this is a really cool feature. You can set them up to, if you wanted to move or change the direction or where the image is, you can do that. So here it is. And eventually on its own, it'll go to the next image. There I am. And but I'll take this off before the doctor. Let's say you made a mistake like I did here. You can go ahead and just delete it. Then it's gone. This is called the slideshow page. It's pretty fancy. I'm going to add some text now because this page is kind of barren. So let's go to edit content. One thing I like to do is at the very top of every page is include just a little brief description. It's very obvious, but again, this will help you with your search engine optimization. So in this case, I'm going to say pretty self-explanatory. And I type this in, and now if I want to highlight it, I just click here. I'm also going to do one more thing, which I also recommend you do for these headers. Whenever you have this kind of like top level, this kind of topic sentence type thing, if you go to format, here is where you can do all the different ones like bold or italics, underline, strike through, etc. Here where it says formats, I'm going to use one of these headings, heading 1. These are kind of like if you, for those of you that remember essays, and you've got a topic sentence and you've got your supporting paragraph and all that sort of thing. These are your headings, right? So the H1 or the heading 1 is the most important one. Well, that's kind of big. Let's drop that down. How about 16? What 18? There you go. So now I've got a simple header there. It doesn't say much. I mean, it's just got the name of the practice, but hey, that's something. Then I'm going to talk about the hospital here. So all right, so here is just a little bit of text. Okay, so I've added this text. I'm going to save the content. There it is. So let me talk about this for a second. If you add some content, and sorry about that. And if you don't save it and you walk off, we do have kind of an autosave feature, but it will also time you out after about 10 minutes. So every once in a while, if you're typing, you've got this big long string of text, you're just going off on a tear, just hit save content. See how it says you're editing a draft? It sort of saves it, but I prefer, it's always better to be safe. So just save your work as you're moving along. Okay, so I added some text, and then now I'm going to add a link. So this is adding a link is very useful. Again, I'm big on SEO. That's a big focus of mine. It's something I like to do. It's great to see my client sites do well. But even better, you want to make it easy for people to use. So, for example, right here, If I highlight contact us for an appointment, and I click this insert edit link button, or if I just right click and hit link, either way, it'll take me to the same spot. You're going to get a window here. Now, eVetSites has a great feature where if you hit the drop down, it'll take you to a page and you can link to any page on the site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them to the main contact us page. This is kind of your focus, right? And if you just hit the drop down, select contact us, I hit OK. Get rid of this extra space here. Now this page has some content. I mean, it's not too much. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I don't like that spacing either. I'm going to fix that in a second. But all right, so we've got a little bit of text, and we've got a link. And the link works. It's taking people somewhere, right? As when you're working on your site, think about how you're kind of moving people along through the pages. Remember that you can always add links at the bottom of the page and kind of push people towards what I'm hoping is your call to action. And by call to action, it's sort of like a purpose, right? We want to, I mean, obviously we've got these websites to help increase visibility for the practice, to give people information, but you want to also kind of send people in a certain direction. So in this case, if I send them to this contact page, here's the thing where they can message the team, get refills, you know, log on to eVetSites, or just to send a message. So there's different information here with a simple link right here. All right, so let me, because I don't like that this is right next to that, I'm going to add a space. Again, I'm going to go to edit content, hit enter, see if that works. See here, shift enter for a single spaced line. All right, so I'm going to do that. Shift enter. There we go. So we've got a single spaced line there, a little bit of room. Type, you know, we've got that. All right, so let's talk some more about these images. If you're working with images, a lot of time you'll have your content inside of what's called a table. That's this little grid right here. These little lines are telling us, you know, here's the space, here's some stuff. This text is going to be relative to this little square. Same with this image, is going to be relative to this little space in here. But every once in a while, you'll be somewhere where you need to wrap text just in general. So, for example, what was the other one? Oh yeah, pet boarding. So this image right here, this is the easiest because it's right there. But there may be a situation where you want this image to be to the left. Maybe you want it to be over here on the right-hand side or the left-hand side or whatever. All right, if that's the case, then what you're going to do is you can go to edit content. And if you've got some text, you can just click to the left here of text where it says we provide pet boarding and service to our clients. We're going to insert the image. I'm just going to put these guys in. And off we go. Now, the problem here is obviously that this looks terrible. It's butted right up against it. There's all this space here. How do we fix this? I'll show you. After you put in this image, if you double click, go to where it says Advanced and look for the Align button. In the Align button, you're going to go ahead and select something. It's either going to be left or right. Don't do the center. But if you do the left, you'll see that it brings all the text up. And then if you want to give yourself a little bit of space, you can put something in here like 5 pixels on the right-hand side. If it was on the opposite side, you'd put 5 pixels on the left-hand side. There they are. That's the 5 pixels between the letter C and the image or the letter D in the image. Let's save our content. So this is what it looks like. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? Now, I'm not going to keep this here because I happen to like the image right up here, and that's what the doctor wanted. But again, if you needed to do it, just reference this soon to become video, and I'll be glad to help. Excuse me, had to take some water here. Okay, anyone have any questions about what we covered so far? All right. Well, then let's move on. So as you're building your pages, uh, you're adding links and text and stuff. We give everyone some stock text that comes within every page. If you look in here, you Google this, see that a lot of people are using the same text. That's kind of on us because we got to encourage folks to change it, and you can by going to edit content, and let's do it here on the About Us. How about this? Same stuff, we're just kind of rearranging it, right? And what's the point of that? Well, by doing that, again, just for SEO purposes, that'll help out, and it'll help make this site stand out from other ones. So I've shown you really quickly how to use, just to touch on the images, um, and how to add some text. Let's talk about how we can format. If you need to bold anything, you can highlight it here. And then if you need to change, click bold. You can also underline. Be careful with the underline because a lot of times people see the underline and think that there's a link. Um, you can also, we won't get into that part. We can work with tables here. And if you grab a bunch of content, this one here, let's talk about clear formatting. Let's say you copy something from Word. You've got I don't know, we're working on a page. Here's a good one. I'm going to grab content here. All right, so here's some content that I just kind of copied from a Google document. So this is how to log into some stuff, right? And um, let's say I want to change the bold, this numbered list, whatever the case may be. If you highlight it, go to format. Clear formatting will render it just plain text. Notice now that the numbered list is still there, but all of the formatting is gone, right? So it's pretty stock. I mean, it's just the stock text there. And that'll make things easy for you when you're working on it, because I know that sometimes it can be tricky if you've got fonts going one way and you're trying to make them go another. Here's where you can go ahead and make that change. Okay, I want to talk about some of the different parts of the site now. In your website, you've got these pages, which most of them you're going to use edit content for or edit special. There's also two other parts of the website, or three other parts actually, that you may on occasion need to get into. If you need help with any of these, of course, you can always reach out to us and we'll be glad to help. These other three sections are the header, which is the top side of the web page. It's usually where you've got the name of your practice, your address, and some sort of contact information. In addition, we've got what's called the common content area, which is on this side, they don't really have one. And then there's a footer, which is the stuff at the very bottom. I'm going to show you how to get to all three of those sections. In order to access them, you're going to go to where it says Admin Home, Administration, and then here are those three sections: header, footer, common content. Header is this top section. Here is the image. It looks like it's got the text already. Looks like the image is a link. So it's taking people to the home page, which is great because that's nice. It makes things easy. In addition, you can link phone numbers. So if you have a phone number on your site, especially if it's in the header, I strongly urge you to make it a clickable link. You can do it like this. Highlight the text or the numbers, hit copy, click the insert edit link, and where it says URL, you're going to put it like this. And I'm going to put it in the chat as well. So the tel, colon, and then phone number. It doesn't have to be this exact formatting, but this is what I found works the best. If you try to put in the, the display is a whole other animal, but for here, I found that sometimes if I put in the parentheses, they don't work as well. So, just put in the phone number separated by dashes, and then the text to display, well, that's obviously going to be the phone number, and you hit OK. Now this is a clickable link. On iPhones, I think they render most phones clickable anyways, but you can certainly make it clickable for all mobile devices, tablets, and things like that. Refrigerators, whatever else has an internet connection nowadays. This will make things easy for them so they can get to that phone number. So this is the header. This is also an area where you're going to put in a logo. Like as you can see, we put this one in. We recommend not using this thing up here. This website logo is kind of a throwback from a really earlier incarnation of eVetSites. We don't recommend using that because it just kind of puts it in the top left-hand corner, but it doesn't really line it up with anything. So just tell us, and we'll make it look nice, like we did here. Okay, so that covers the header. The common content area, in this case, it's blank. I'm just going to put some stuff in here. All right, we'll update it. Where did that content go? Oh, yeah, it's not displaying. So in this particular template, this is actually hidden, so it's not even showing up, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you wanted to work on it, this is sometimes over off to the left. You may see websites sometimes when they have a navigation, and this will have like the phone number, address, and stuff like that. Okay, now let's go down to the footer. So here's this whole bottom section. Everything from here. In this case, everything is in the footer right here. And so, again, here's a table. We've got these images. I've got the text on them. We've lined them all up. Maybe you want to change the hours. So you come down in here and you update that. Again, you hit that. And then it's updated. That could be something that you're doing. Oh, I got a great question. When you make the phone number a clickable link, what happens when you click it? If you're on a computer, not too much. It'll, in my case, it's gonna try and dial from my Google Voice number, I think. Depending on, but if you are on a mobile device, it'll begin the dialing process. It doesn't really do anything unless you've got some sort of um, phone's program or application on your computer. So in most cases, it's really not going to do anything for people on the computers. And I obviously can't show you what it looks like on the phone, um, but just know that if you have the phone, it'll work. And if you've got a mobile phone and you can kind of bring up a site, I'll put this one in the chat here. If you click on that, um, and then click on that phone number, you'll see that it brings up the dialer. So the short answer, nothing generally on a computer unless you've got a program set up. On a phone, it'll make it so that it dials the number. I hope that helps. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about this page. So we've got the contact us page. We're sort of directing people over, and we want to work on it. The edit special again is where we can go ahead and make changes, and this is a form page. This is an advanced uh, form page. If I go to edit menu, you'll see that this is the form page type advanced. We've got a basic form, which I don't know why we still have it. If there's really no point. Do the advanced one. The advanced form has some nice features on it that the other basic one doesn't, like keeping track of who submitted the forms. And if you go to a form page, you can go to Edit Special. Here's where you can build it. If you notice here, we've got these different fields: name, phone number, uh, comment, whatever. And we got a drop down here, and you can certainly make fields required if you want them to be, or not required if you don't want to make them that way. And you can change the order of the fields that appear here. So there's everything from the name, address, the phone number. There's an appointment request. The appointment request here, I'll add the appointment request at the very end. Appointment request is kind of funny because it really is all looks, but most of these are. So see here how it says appointment. Maybe you don't open at 6:45 or 5:45. So if somebody would ask that, well, that'd be kind of silly. But you can still put in a line of text up here and say, we see patients between 9 and 2 Monday through Friday, and that'll take care of that. Because really, all that is, it's just kind of expressing some interest so that people have just a really general idea of when they're. So you'll get an idea of who's coming and when. Obviously, you're probably going to have to put it in your practice management software, Cornerstone, whatever. But at the very least, we've got this in here. And then you can also add a label. So I'm going to put it for the appointment. And in this case, I'm going to tell them. There we go. It's kind of like how I do them. I don't do the appointment immediately upon getting here. I don't think anybody would want that. I have to wait to get a little bit of coffee in me. But so here it is. appointments are from Monday to Friday from 10 to 3 appointment. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this. I know that you're probably looking at it saying, wait a minute, why is it in two places? So here it is right here. And now look, we got that clarification. So, I mean, even though it will let people click on it, it's not going to actually, write to the database. It's purely just so that you have a gauge. Hey, Wednesday is going to be crazy busy. We've got a bunch of people that wrote in, and we can schedule somebody, do whatever. Ask Wendy to cut a 3-day weekend short. Whatever kind of decisions you have to make. And if we want to get rid of certain fields, you can hit this X here. That'll remove them. Remember to hit the update, and we are back to normal. So here's your form, very simple, very straightforward. If you have questions about the specifics of it, we'd love to help you with that as well. These forms are mobile friendly. They're a nice way of saving you time, especially for real simple questions, right? Like I'm sure you get a lot of phone calls where people say, "Hey, when are you guys open?" Or prescription refill, or whatever the case may be. You can set up forms to at least gather data or comments or whatever, and hopefully save some time on the phone with them, and instead save that line for somebody that's calling in to set up an appointment. So I kind of touched on this inadvertently, so I'll go back to this. If you create a form, and it's an advanced form, we have the ability to put that form in other locations. So here is the contact us page. It's got a map. There's some links to the other sub pages, contact information, etc. So here is where the form is, quote unquote. This is where it lives. Go to the home page. Hey, look, it's still here. And so this is just a really, somebody can fill this out. There you are. Very simple stuff. But again, it'll definitely help you to get information from people. We can help you embed that. How that one is embedded, and let me see, go back to it. If you ever want to embed a form from another location, all you have to do is go here, and where it says macros, you go to form, and hey, look at that. There's the contact us form. Let's save it here. There it is. So that one form can be used in multiple locations if you wanted to. You create a form and then move it in another place. So you want to reach people where they are. You don't want to have it appear on every single page, but again, one to another. All right, so I've talked a little bit about text, the pages. Does anyone have any questions that they have about their particular page? If they have a site that they'd like me to work on or anything like that? We've still got a little bit of time, so I'd love to touch on that. If not, then we can, now that we've had added. All right, so let me talk about the library for a quick second here. So we've got this client information library from Vim. And if yours doesn't look like this, I strongly urge you to update it. We worked hard. Well, I'm not going to take credit for it. It's the dev guys and gals. The team over there has been working, which are the same folks from Veterinary Partner. You all know, you're all familiar with Vim. And Veterinary Partner has been updating their website. They've got a bunch of great content on there. Big reach is taking long right across the phone. So as you can see, we've got these different articles by species, all this other information. Um, this is what it looks like now. The bin library page 2 is what you want to have. We have two. We've got the bin library page, which is the old one. I'll go ahead and show you. As you can see, it looks a little Y2K or classic. The new version here. So we've got the different animals there. Edit special or edit menu, library page 2. That'll get you. That'll get you going. This is a great question. What to click as far as admin versus edit content versus edit menu. So some of these repeat themselves. So within the admin home, you can get to the header and the footer and the common content and do that stuff like that. But mostly, if you're gonna add, if you're gonna, it just seems like you click multiples. I think you mean like just clicking a couple of times. Am I right? So if I'm going to change text, any sort of text on the page, in general, it's going to be edit content. This is going to be so like, you know, everything that's here. Edit content is definitely the most used because this is the one where you're going to change the actual text. If you've got you know, maybe a page that we've built, well, not built, but we've copied the content from another website, we've transferred it over, and it's an existing content, existing site. Edit content is probably the thing that you're going to be using the most because this is where you can actually just change the actual text on the pages. So you can add links, you can format text, do all that sort of business, and that is through edit content. Edit special, you'll use every once in a while only if it's going to be a special page. So like again, the message our care team, here's a form. If you need to change something on that form, edit special is where you go for that. The edit menu is probably the one that you're going to use the least. This happens if you're adding an entire page or you're hiding a page. So for example, see how these are all hidden pages here. We did a recent uh, makeover for this website, and some of the pages that we hid were pages that they're not really using. So for employment, for example, maybe you're going from a place where you're not looking for people to you are, in which case then you would need to use edit menu, because then what you're going to do is you're going to change this page from a hidden page to a not hidden page, right? You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. And so, and do make sure to check in later, as we'll have the whole video online, probably later this afternoon. So this other, so yeah, edit menu is where you'll either make a page go live. There's some SEO stuff that's done here. You can also change the order of the menu. So let's talk about that since we're kind of finishing up here. So if you've got pages here, services, they've got the pet boarding, specialist consultants. What else are you talking about? Dentistry. All right, so I'm a big fan of having more content on the site because the more content, the better. This is how one of the factors that Google uses when they're ranking your site. So let's say we wanted to add a page for dentistry. This is the steps that we go through. So we've got our services, and going to quickly touch on this. You notice that they're kind of in these silos, right? So in information, top level menu, and all these pages sort of support information about us. It's everybody that's about us, the team, the hours, the doctors, etc. They're all under these different pages. So here, for the services, we're going to add dentistry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit Menu. I'm going to click the little plus next to our services, and I'm going to hit the button here that says Add Sublevel Menu. It's going to ask me, do I want to add a new page? I'm going to hit OK. Here's a new page. Now, obviously, I want to change this because new page 39 doesn't give anybody any information. Maybe I'll do something like pet dentistry. And okay, so now I've got the page. It's not hidden. Nobody knows it's there. I can hide it in case I'm working on it. That would be a good idea to not let Google know until it's ready to go. I'm going to save my menu. Hey, look, there's a new page. And so now I've got this new page here. And so again, edit content is where I'm going to go to add change, stuff here. So okay, yes. So folks that have missed, if you missed any part of this, and I know that we've had some people that left early and some people show up later, that's fine. We will have all of this available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/eVetSites. And we try to update these every week or so. Sometimes there's technical glitches. Sometimes there's other things that happen. But in general, here's where they are, and then that way you can watch it at your speed. But hopefully this helps a little bit. Let me finish up here. I'm going to hide this page. The nice thing about having the hidden page, so you've got it here, is that now, it's there. We've started working on it, but maybe we're not going to be able to finish it right now. Most of our members are busy helping animals and their owners and all that sort of thing. So it'll happen where you'll start to work on something and then you've got to be pulled away. By hiding the page, you can go in here and work on it at your pace. So if your page is ready to go, you can make the page go live and set it off into a while. So you can hide a page. The other thing you can do, and we still got a couple minutes, so I'll talk about this one. Let's say you want to edit a page, but you're nervous about messing it up. So let's say we're going to update the home page. What I do is I create a practice page, and then I hide it. I'll put it here again. Add sublevel page, hit OK. Kind of like scratch page. Hit page, yes. All right, so there's nothing on this page at all. But let's say I wanted to work on the home page without messing up the home page. I'm kind of nervous about it, but I want to work on it. So what you'll do is you go to this new practice page, go to edit content, and if you notice down here at the bottom, you'll see where it says copy content from another page. This is going to copy everything from a page, so be careful. It's not going to copy some page and then merge it with content here. So if I have a bunch of stuff here, and I save it, this is not going to stay here if I do this. See what happened? It totally obliterated the stuff that's in there. But what I can do now is now I can work um, on this website or on this page, rather. I can add links. Where's the services page? There it is. All right. So you can add links, you can do all that stuff. And then after you've got this page all looking the way you want it to be, now maybe we're going to change this picture too, for whatever reason. Let's just pretend this way. This is something maybe all that's small. So let's say you've got this, and this is how you want the home page to look. Then what you would do is you would go to your home page, you would go to edit content, and then you would copy it from the practice page. So this feature here, this copy content, allows you to make a copy of any page, but you work on that other page and then copy it to the original. That way, in case you're a little nervous about the formatting or whatever, it gives you kind of a freebie, video game, like that, getting that extra life somewhere. Word documents are more private. Yes, definitely. If it's like if you're familiar with Word, you can definitely use it. And as always, this is just a brief touch on some of these. We invite you all to come to set up a one-on-one where we can go ahead and help you with that. We would love to go ahead and do that, whether it's a one-on-one type thing or any sort of anything where you do that. Again, we've got this contact us form here, so please let us know if you need us to contact you for whatever reason. Um, let us know here, and then we invite you to follow us on social media. We've got youtube.com/eVetSites, um, Instagram, and of course Facebook as well. You should probably update that. If anyone has any questions after this, please let us know. Support@evetsites.com is our main email address. We always check that. Um, you can also reach out to us, and we'll be glad to help. My name is Jose. If you want to ask for me, I'll be glad to help you as well. I want to thank everyone for taking time out today to join us, and hopefully we'll see you at another chat soon. And if anyone needs any questions answered, let us know. We'll be glad. Thank you.